Welcome to Corona Fine Art. My name is Carolina Corona. I live in Winston-Salem and my business is Corona Fine Art. I'm very happy to join the Amante Comparte initiative. Today I will be painting watercolor. So for this video I want to focus on painting things around us. Because of the situation that we're in, unfortunately, we cannot go outside or, be inspired by things outside of our home. So we need to go ahead and look around us in our homes, where we live, in our neighborhoods, in our yard, and look for inspiration in objects that are there for us. So for me, I have a lot of plants sitting outside on my balcony. So for me, those are sources of inspiration. So today I am painting one of my plants. It's a ponytail palm tree, and you can see it here next to my easel. So I'm prepping, a drawing that I'm doing with a watercolor pencil. Just a simple sketch outlining the composition for my painting. And you can use a graphite pencil if you don't have any watercolors. You can use acrylics for this project. You can use color pencils for this project. It's very flexible in terms of medium that you can use. It doesn't need to be watercolor paints. It could be anything that you have around the house. So in this case, I am using my watercolor palette, as you can see here, for this project. So the first thing I did is just took a piece of watercolor paper and attached it to a board with some tape to prevent the paper from warping or from bending with the water, and taped it on my board and then just have it ready for the paint application. Here are some of the brushes that I'm going to use. I like to use very few brushes. If you have one brush, then you're able to paint. You don't need to have a collection of brushes. So I'm going to use mainly one brush for this painting. And you can use, like I said, what you have around. And you will also need a cup of water or a jar with water, as you see here. And just a little bit of water to manipulate the paint and to clean off the brush when you're done. So now that I have my drawing, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the painting. And the color palette I'm going to be working with is very simple: green, blue, and some brown, and some gray here and there. Those are the main colors that I'm going to be using, and you may have many color paints, or you may have just those basic paints, and you're able to mix blue and yellow. If you have the primary colors, which is blue, yellow, and red, you can mix blue and yellow to get a green. So you don't need to have a tube of green paint or a palette that includes green on there. You can mix and match your colors. So here I'm just starting with the trunk and the pot that I have in front of me. And the pot that I have is dark blue, and you can see a little bit here in the frame, but I'm going to paint a little bit more of the pot. So I'm starting with a very light wash of watercolor, laying down in different areas and leaving some white spaces for what's going to be the leaves of the ponytail palm tree. These leaves are going to come down and overlap with the pot that the plant is in. So I want to leave some white on the page. And I'm just applying paint very loosely. The purpose is just to have fun. You don't need to have any art background to do this, really. All you need is an object and to observe the object and the shapes that it is made out of, and just paint that as you see it, combining some light and some dark shades of the color So with watercolor, you add more water when you want the color to be less intense and lighter and more transparent. The less water you add, the darker the color will be. So I'm starting with a very light, kind of like a ghost painting for this watercolor, because it's better to start light and then add layer upon layer of darkness as you go. Because when you make something dark, sometimes it's very difficult to go back and add light to it. So it's better to work from light to dark, as you can see I'm starting to do here. So I'm having different shades of green for the top of the ponytail palm tree. And this ponytail palm tree has been with me for maybe 2.5 years. I actually bought it in Florida on one of my trips down there, and I just loved it. And I wondered, would it thrive in North Carolina where I live? And it has been doing great. And since I bought it, it has grown a little bit, but it's a slow grower. And I'm just really in love with this plant. It's just so beautiful, so green year round. And when it's winter, of course, I bring it inside and put it in front of my artificial light so that it still gets some warmth, and it just has been doing wonderful. So I'm very happy about that. And you can see in the background I have a lot of other plants, mostly succulent and cacti, because I get very little light here where I live because I'm right in front of the woods. So it's good to have plants that don't need so much sunlight to thrive and to be alive. But I do have some plants like the peace lily here behind the ponytail palm tree that needs a little bit more attention than the succulents and the cacti, and I'm getting used to it and trying to care for plants like that because I just love plants overall. So I wanted to make this video dedicated to my plants as well, because they just bring so much happiness and joy to me and to the people that visit me as well. And I'm very inspired by them, and not only house plants but also plants that are in the forest and in gardens. But because right now it's hard to be outside around other people and visit public places like gardens, we want to focus on things that are indoors and things that we have around the house. So this painting doesn't have to be at all something that has to do with nature or a plant like I'm doing right now. It could be something else, something that inspires you around your house. It could be a beautiful vase that you love and you have set for decoration inside. It could be a frame even, or a picture that you have hanging. It could be anything that brings you joy and inspiration. And that's the point of this painting, this exercise, to focus our minds on things that we love and bring us joy, and through that meditate and feel a sense of calmness and stillness in our minds and in our bodies, in order to cope with hard times, and also exercise our imagination and our creativity as artists. Or if you're not an artist, if you feel like you don't know how to paint, you can't paint, that doesn't matter. It's just for you. This exercise is just for you. You don't have to share with other people your results. It's just for you to come to a place of joy and peace. So this is what this painting is for me. I'm not thinking about making it for sale to put it on my website like I do a lot of my paintings. I'm not thinking, I'm going to give this as a gift or anything at all. I'm just doing this because I love my plant. It brings me happiness, and I also like watercolor as a medium. So this is why I'm doing this today, And I hope that you can find an object that brings you that inspiration as well. So as you can see, I've started to add some shadows, some darker tones. So in order to work on this layer, all you need to do is add a little bit less water to the pigment, to the paint that you're using. So I'm adding a little bit less water to the colors and placing the shadows as I see them on the object in front of me. And I'm also going to work on the trunk. So there's going to be a shadow that's underneath here because of all the leaves. So this is going to make the painting stand out. So the darker something is, it's going to pop and look a little bit more realistic if you have dark and light, a combination of both. So I'm trying to represent my beautiful palm tree as close as I can, and painting the trunk and some of the rocks and little pebbles that I put at the foot of the palm tree, and also the beautiful curly leaves of different types of green. I'm adding some dark green here to bring some of those leaves forward and making them look like they're in front of the other ones that are a little bit lighter, receding in the background a little bit, bringing some of those down towards the bottom and overlapping them with the pot. I will be doing a part 2 of this painting coming very soon, and so you can see the end result. I'm very excited to share this with you, so keep tuned for my next video, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions about how to use the medium or inspiration, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching today, and hopefully you'll join me for the next one. Thank you so much for watching my video from Corona Fine Art and Diamante and the Comparte initiative. I'm very excited to be a part of this. If you're an artist or want to share, your artwork or talk about art, I encourage you to participate and contact Diamante to share your video with the public. And also I encourage you to come back every day to watch another video done by talented artists and share the Comparte initiative.